Hey everyone, Coops here from the whole box and dice mono blue Goku for you today, and we're using the starter deck Goku. Going to be doing a video featuring a starter deck up very shortly, so thought this is a great way that you can refer to this video in terms of building on from purchasing one of those starter kits. We'll talk about how to play the game, but this will be like an upgrade video for the deck. We're using the starter leader. We're getting an insane amount of value. It's a massive tempo deck where we just look to outvalue our opponents. We're in blue, already the strongest color in Dragon Ball Super at the moment, and when you add value and tempo to it, it becomes an unstoppable equation. Let's jump straight into it. If you haven't seen the starter leader, because you can't pull this out of a booster pack, this is Super Saiyan God Son Goku, 10k blue leader. When it attacks, choose up to one of your blue energy and switch it to active mode, standard awaken clause. But on the other side, during your turn, if you have 5 or more energy, this card gains 5,000 power. The auto is when it attacks, you draw one card, pretty standard, but choose up to 2 of your blue energy, all our energy is blue, and switch it into active mode. So we are a tempo deck, we are a value deck. Well, how are we going to get that value? 4 copies of Bulma, the God Tempter, to go grab our Whis. 3 copies of Boo to go get some extra cards early on in the game. 4 copies of Goku, the friendly Saiyan, and this is the start of our Goku chain, which obviously being in blue means we can get a lot of value from. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to one blue Son Goku, which all of our Gokus are among them, and then add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. We're running a blue leader, so we're obviously running 4 copies of the Boost Attack Piccolo to help us out, protect late game, and also go over the top. Running 3 copies of the 3-drop, but only costs 2 to evolve, Rapid Spirit Ball Son Goku. So like I said, if you do have to play it, just costs the 3, but if you can evolve it onto any Goku, just costs you 2. When you do play this card, so regardless of whether you evolve, choose up to one of your energy and switch it into active mode. We're running 3 copies of Energy Boost Beerus in the deck as well. Great to have some just unconditional removal, which really just hits hard and takes out key cards from our opponent's side of the field. 3 copies of Overflowing Spirit Son Goku, the SSGSS. It's got critical, it's a 4 cost 15k, but during your turn, if you have 5 or more energy, this card gains 10,000 power. So 25k critical is nothing to shake your head at there. 3 copies of Whis, the resting Attendant. This is part of the ramp package in our deck. I mean, I'm a firm believer that unless you actually are ramping into Big Whis, the 12-drop, you only need to run 4 copies of Bulma and 3 copies of Whis. You don't need to run 4 and 4. That is just personal preference. Let us know if you think I'm crazy in the comments. Running 3 copies of the starter 5-cost Goku as well, continuing the theme of Gokus that we can pull off our 1-drop. This is the SS3 Son Goku Maximum Energy. Has an evolve for 4 on it, double strike, and when it evolves into this card, you gain dual attack. So dual attack and double strike 20k is a very, very nasty thing to deal with on turn 4. We're also running 2 copies of Vegeta, Prince of Speed in the deck. Go grab yourself 2 cards and has great synergy with the one of that we're running later on. Always nice to refill our hand, plus it's a nice 20k body. 2 copies of Beerus, the General of Demolition. Beerus is obviously just an absolute bomb in any deck. We catch a couple of people off guard because we are running a lot of Goku and they're not sure if we are running Beerus or not. So if they do go down to just 1 card in hand, we can play Beerus and just unleash that value. Worst case scenario, he is a huge 25k triple striker. 2 copies of the 7-drop Goku as well to accompany Beerus, and that's why we split the playset 2 and 2. You definitely could just run 4 Gokus, the God Break Son Gokus, but I do like having Beerus in there as well. You evolve him for 6, double strike. Your opponent can't activate counter or blocker against this card. It is a 30k, very, very powerful endgame Goku to play. Running 1 copy of the Buy a Box or the Buy a 4-pack box Vegeta promos. Free to evolve when you have 7 energy. Gets triple strike, bumps our 20k 5-drop Prince of Speed up to 25k with triple strike. Absolutely huge. Great to play that, draw 2 cards, and then free evolve Vegeta over the top. 3 copy of Whis Coercion. 3 copies, of Whis Coercion in the deck. We do want a little bit of counter attack in there. Plus it readies an energy, so it costs us nothing to play, which is always nice. 3 copies of Sensu Bean. You've got a couple of cards that have dual attack. Plus, just being able to give something 5k for the turn is always nice. Defensively, obviously, so great for when we have to endure a big hit on the swing back. 4 copies of Objection, pretty standard. Have to run Objection in a deck that wants to ramp. And 3 copies of Result of Training. So that's the deck. There you have it. That's the cards that we're running with, obviously, our starter leader. I mentioned value. I mentioned tempo. How does it all come together? How does it work? How do we get that value? How do we abuse the tempo in the deck? Well, look at it this way, right? Let's say you're versing another blue deck, and they play a Bulma turn 1 or a Boo turn 1. We can play 2. Play our Bulma, swing in with our leader, untap, play another one, or play a Boo. You know, that's insane card draw, great double value straight off the bat. Turn 2, let's say you play an Objection. Readies an energy anyway by placing one down. Then you swing in, untap another energy. You can play 2 Objections on turn 2. The absolute nuts for this deck is an opening hand of any cards, really. Probably don't want to see the promo Vegeta because you only have one of. But let's, worst case scenario, right? Let's just say 2 Objections, the Results of Training, and anything else. On turn 2, play an Objection, ready an energy, swing in with your leader, ready another energy, play another Objection, turn 3, Results of Training, untap 4 energy, awaken your leader, then play something, swing in, untap a further 2 energy, insane value, you've got the 5 energy, you're now drawing cards, plus your 20k, that is absolutely nuts. We get insane value out of our leader and always being able to outvalue our opponents on every single turn. Being able to play the promo Vegeta on top of Prince of Speed after we've drawn 2 cards, being able to catch them off guard with Beerus. We get really good value from the 4 1-drop Gokus. We rarely are in a position where you're not hitting a Goku except for very late in the game. But most of the games don't go very late at all because we just get great value. We can actually play the ramp package without really taking any turns off, because whenever you're ramping and then resetting an energy, you're almost getting at least 50%, sorry, not almost, you're always getting at least 50% of that value back when you then swing in with your leader, sometimes even more. We do have to be careful about some decks that do look to stall us out. Cards like Blocker are very annoying, which is why we're running the 7-drop, 6 to evolve Goku's in the deck to just shut that down. Obviously, Beerus is huge. If they go down to 1 card in hand, we can nuke their whole board and pretty much just win the game from there. It's near impossible, unless you're running a mono red deck, to actually come back from having your board nuked. So absolutely, we'll take advantage of that all day. Cards like Energy Boost, Beerus, be smart with these cards. These really are for removing things like the 25k blocker freezer, for example, or other big cards that are going to cause us problems or have really annoying autos when they swing back. You do have 3 negates, so do be, obviously smart when you use these as well. We're not really looking to interact with our opponents so much as, like I said, more just simply outvalue our opponent at every, chance we can get. I wanted to do this video before I did the starter deck introduction, just so that after that's done, I already had a video up that you could go watch, just to kind of see the difference of how the starter deck is constructed and how you can then take that starter deck and then build a much more competitive deck. This deck has great matchups against a lot of the decks going around. Broly would be probably a tricky deck for us, simply because if Broly is playing a blue-green version where they ramp as well, if we go low in cards in hand because we're trying to flood with Whis and Objection, we can be left with only a couple of key cards in hand, and they can play things that force us to discard, which is obviously annoying. So Broly definitely gives us a little bit of trouble, but we can often outvalue Broly once we get the engine going, because on turn, not turn, but let's say you have 8 energy, right? You can play a 6-drop and a 4-drop. I already spoke about the double Objection, when your opponent can only play 1. So we do get a lot of value from this deck. And it's not too hard to put together, a couple of SRs in there and obviously the promo Vegeta. But a lot of the base can be found from the starter deck. A lot of it you'll need the starter deck to play anyway, because there's a couple of starter-only cards in there, and I do believe you just get really, really solid value from the whole exchange. And I really wanted to keep building mono lists. I've done the blue-yellow list, and I've done red and yellow so far as well. So I wanted to do a mono blue. We'll try and do a mono green Broly also. So I've got a couple of videos coming up: mono green Broly, the revision of the mono red deck, the starter deck. Just uploaded the booster box, which we just cracked, so we've got some awesome pulls out of that one too. But thank you so much for all the videos and for all the love. Oh, sorry, all the videos. I'm doing the videos, you're doing the love. Thank you for all the love on the videos. Really have appreciated it. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this one, hit the thumbs up button. Comment in the videos below if there's a deck you want to see me do a tech on. If there's a card you're having some problem with, rules. I know there's a lot of great people out there in the community offering all kinds of advice. So keep up the great work. Check out some of the links I've got in the video as well. We have our Whis playset competition going at the moment. So check the Gleam link in the description for that. Check the Facebook groups that are going around. There's an awesome Reddit out there as well for the game, so plenty of good sources of information. Plus, Bandai themselves make themselves pretty available to help out with any kind of rulings and just further information about what to expect. So, thank you again for watching, everyone. I've been Coops. This is the whole box and dice. Hopefully, you've enjoyed Mono Blue Tempo Goku. Peace.